to Sam's Playbook, your mom's favorite podcast. I am your host, your favorite shit-talking yapperina, Sam Downs. Welcome to the shit show. This is our first episode, and I am so psyched to be quite literally violating your airwaves. This has been a long time in the making, and I've been working on this quietly behind the scenes. So I'm so happy to be here, and thank you guys for taking the opportunity to listen. And I hope you come back every Tuesday for a new episode. I'm planning on doing interviews with players, interviews with fans, week to week picks, sports news, and going to games and interviewing fans there and just highlighting all the debauchery at the tailgates. That is my favorite part of being an NFL fan, and I can't wait for you to come with me and show the debauchery. And if you love it, great. And if you hate it, even better, because a hate listen is still listen, and the haters that listen are your biggest fans, and they will keep coming back. So hate it if you want to. I love that. I love that for you. Okay, so a little backstory on me. I grew up in upstate New York, Western New York. If you don't already know me, I'm sure you already do if you're listening to this. But I grew up in a small town outside of a city called Rochester, which is 30, 40, 45 minutes from Buffalo. I don't know. I'm not a fucking geographer, okay? All I know is that, it took about 45 minutes when you're speeding to get to Buffalo, okay, to get to the Bills games, all right? And I grew up in a dual household of Dallas Cowboys and Bills fans. Like my uncles were always Bills fans, and I was a default Dallas Cowboy fan. My dad really liked the cheerleaders, and that's like what I basically liked is the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. So, but years throughout going to the Bills games, and I just slowly started becoming more of a Bills fan, and here we are today. I grew up with mostly boys, but me and my sisters, we literally did what our brothers did, and all the neighborhood kids became family too as well. So it was a blast. We had an amazing childhood growing up. Just literally, we grew up in a town when there was literally nothing to do but bullshit and just raise fucking hell. So that's what we did, and I loved every second of it. And now I create content on TikTok. I have a family of my own now, and that's where we are today. I got into the sports sector, and I quite literally, it is my calling. I love talking about the games, the analysis, betting on the games. Even though I don't, hit my 16 leg parlays, we're still gonna fucking try, right? Right? Anyways, all right, let's get into it. So my plan is how we're going to do it is we're going to go through the news first, and then I'm going to give you my picks. So for the news, the big news this week, we got a lot of them, but I am kind of shocked about this one. The two monster trades that are happening between, there's one part that shocks me and there's one part that doesn't shock me. Okay, there's two parts to this. It's the monster trades happening between the Cowboys and the Commanders, possibly to the Patriots. There's a lot of talk about the Patriots, but there's also a plethora of other teams that they could go to. But Micah Parsons and Terry. Parsons doesn't surprise me because I'll tell you what, this is also a major reason why the Dallas Cowboys franchise has completely turned me off as a fan, is because of how insane Jerry Jones is and how just absolutely senile this man has become with his organization. And he is just way too involved. And I don't think they'll ever win a championship while their family is running the organization. And good luck, because there's millions of them spawning. So good luck, Cowboys fans. You're not going to see a championship for a very fucking long time. Okay. And so the Parsons trade, understandable, considering, the Cowboys is arguably one of the worst franchises in the organization in the NFL. However, they're the richest, which is crazy, but they have issues. They've always had issues. He wants out of the organization because the Cowboys are not giving him a deal after his rookie contract, which is coming to the end of the 2025 season. And he posted a long, thoughtful statement, which I read it and I thought it was really empowering. And you could just tell the sadness. It had such an undertone of sadness, and because he grew up as a Dallas fan. That's what he wanted to do. Him and his dad, he wanted to become a Dallas Cowboy player. And it's heartbreaking to see this. And to summarize, he reiterates how disappointed he is over the contract negotiations. He went into the history again of how he always wanted to play for the Cowboys because that was him and his dad's favorite team. And how proud he was to wear the star. Oh God, bless this kid's heart. Seriously, my heart ached for him. When he reached out to his agent to start negotiations after his third season, the Cowboys didn't give him the time of day. And he was willing to even take less money for his contract for a long-term deal. But again, radio silence from the Cowboys organization. He also states how he has been portrayed in the media and how he's felt disrespected and how things were handled or lack thereof. He says, quote, I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. And again, this is my beef with the Dallas Cowboy organization is that they take these really good players, these strong, amazing players that should have been Super Bowl contending players, and they go on the Cowboys to die. To die. Dak Prescott was an amazing player in his prime. He is not the leader that we want to see, and yet they invested more money in him. And now I think his contract is another 4 more years or something like that. It's just, it's insane, but they can't sign on Micah. That blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. And I was shocked, absolutely shocked when I saw my boy George Pickens. And say what you want about Pickens, I have such a soft spot for Pickens. I love Pickens personally. I'm such a huge fan of Pickens. But when he decided to go to the Cowboys, I was like, that's it. His career is over unless he trades out of the Cowboys. And I can understand him, staying for the Steelers or whatever, because Russell Wilson was not a good leader. And, barefoot, ayahuasca, monkey jungle, Aaron Rodgers himself is not going to be a good leader either. However, that would have been 1 year at least, to stick it out. But again, he's going to die. If he doesn't get out of the Cowboys organization, he is going to die on that organization. And they haven't seen an NFC championship since 95. It's just and they're supposed to be America's team. It's just Jerry Jones. He can't get his old wrinkly balls off of the saddle. And it blows my mind. You figured invest millions of dollars to hire into your staff and your coaches and your general managers. Let them do their fucking jobs. Let them do their jobs. And he doesn't. He has to meddle in every single aspect of it. And watching Dan Quinn, the Commanders head coach, talk about Terry versus listening to Jerry Jones talk about Micah was extremely telling. Okay. Dan Quinn, you could see, and granted, they're different. They don't really spend as much time with each other. Like a team owner wouldn't spend as much time as a head coach would with a player, granted. However, you can just tell Dan Quinn genuinely had so much love and respect for Terry, and he wanted the best for him, whether that meant having a contract for him or letting him trade off. And he even said that. He was like, we love him, we want what's best for him. But Jerry Jones was very much like a lizard reptilian, just this is business. And I'm just like, okay, all right. And yeah, he's right, it is business, but these men give up literally their lives, the best parts of their life in their year to play on your organization. Show some fucking respect, dude. They are the reason why you are a billionaire. And yes, players are a dime a dozen, sure. But you have you have to give that respect, bro. And just because you're Jerry fucking Jones doesn't mean that you can just be like, oh, it's business. I don't know. That doesn't resonate with me personally. It just doesn't. I will never be that person, and I have so much respect for Dan Quinn, and I have so much more respect for him because of how he handled this situation, right? Okay. Now, speaking of business, that's a good way to pivot. We have to talk about James Cook's situation, all right? I just can't with this guy. I know that there's very mixed feelings about James Cook and the Buffalo Bills with the fans and everything. This is my take on the situation, right? But first, obviously, he was not practicing during scrimmage and he was just on the sidelines, just kind of like with his hands in his pocket. Like, dude, at this point, you're a distraction. It's like giving very much, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Like, what are you doing? And when reporters asked him, like, what was he doing? Like, what's up? Why aren't you out there practicing, bro? And he was like, business. Again, again, there is different ways you can go about this, right? Because it shows other teams it shows other teams that you're just in it just for your business. You're not in it to be a team player. And yes, of course, that is what you're in it for. You're in it to make money. Duh. Hello. But you're just in it for yourself, bro. Like it's a very, very carbon copy of his brother, number one, and of a Stefan Diggs situation. And what I'm worried about is that this is gonna translate into locker room etiquette, and just the locker room, it's just like, how can it not, right? It's just business, but you're feeling salty over the organization as a whole. It's a normal human reaction to like let that circulate and let that dilute into your normal day-to-day interaction with players. And take somebody like Josh Allen. Like, Josh Allen didn't give a shit about those few extra million or whatever it was. He wanted that for his team. And at the end of the day, I think that they should pay him at least 10 to 12, but 15 million. We are coming off of like the Barclays of it all. And listen, he is eighth in the league. Okay. He is eighth in the league. And yeah, that is great. Those are great numbers. However, they're replaceable. That position is very much replaceable. And again, people are not going to like, a lot of Bills fans are not going to like me when I say this, but I almost rather you're making all this fuss. I almost rather, like, there you go, dude, there's the door, because you're not going to find any other team that has this built up and momentum like the Buffalo Bills that would take you like that. I mean, if you wanted to go like on the Kansas City Chiefs or go into the NFC, maybe, yes, but I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it working well with any other team, because I feel like it's going to be a team that needs to lay more groundwork, and that isn't like a Super Bowl contender in 2025. You know what I mean? Like, why not stick it out, have a championship under your belt, ride it out for one more year, and then after this year, then you're like, all right, you start comparing sizes. You pull it out on the desk, dude, because then you can have something to back up. But you did have mad yardage in 2024, and we loved you. Like, it was great. But now you're creating so much discourse online and discourse in your own locker room. It's just like, bro, where will it end? Is it even worth it? We unfortunately have some more bad news with the laundry list of injuries for the Bills fans. It's not looking good. Honestly, I am scared. Okay, I am low-key scared. So Shakir is out. He had an ankle sprain, and it's not a good ankle sprain, and it's going to be a week by week basis. And I hate that. I absolutely hate that term, week by week. It drives me nuts. This is now 14 players injured. So yeah, we're not excited. So let's hope and pray that these boys get healthy and they're able to play safely. I want them to go to Mexico and get that stem cells injected, baby. I want that, those good perks to be injected. No, I'm just kidding. I want them to be healthy. I want them to heal properly, and let's just pray for their safety and that they get healed up and ready to play and ready to rock and roll. Another big injury this week, to week basis, is going to be Matthew Stafford, and it's not looking good for Rams fans either. Honestly, there's a lot of discourse between Matthew Stafford. I actually like him on the Rams. I didn't see much trouble with him last season. There was a few things. He did get injured last season too, but they did pretty good for in 2024. So, but this back injury is obviously one of the worst to have, and he's not expected to play versus the Cowboys this week in preseason. So it's safe to say their backup Jimmy here is going to have some airtime this season, because it's going to be at least for 3-4 games, probably even more than that. So the next big topic of conversation is the monster acquisition between ESPN and the NFL Network. Now, fans are not excited about it because they think it's going to fuck up the red zone, right? They think that there's going to be ESPN's personalities are going to come and infiltrate it and just like colonize fucking red zone, because what people like about red zone, right, is that you turn it on, because this is a two-parter here. They turn it on and they're able to see like the big plays that just happened outside of their network. They tell the score and they shut the fuck up and they move on. Not like, oh, they ramble on and on, like with these, personalities that give no substance, just like they're just filling in times, they're just filling in gaps with like these sentence enhancers and shit. It's just literally awful. And that's what people are afraid of. They're afraid of the fantasy leaguers and the people that are betting on these games, that they're not going to turn it on. They're going to see whomever talk nonsense for 30 minutes instead of just giving them what they came for, right? And what I do hope happens, right, is that they come up with a solution. You're able to see all these out of game, out of coverage or out of network games. Why not have a subscription fee or at least pay per game? That's my biggest beef with the NFL. And I actually just came up with my own solution that I'm going to be installing in my new TV, because the NFL hasn't done anything about it. And I'm sick of it, dude. Like when I bet on my games, I like to watch them. It's way more fun to do that. I like to see if I'm right. And it's so much fun. Yes, it's taking off like 5 years off my life every season, but who fucking cares? Okay. Your girl wants to, I want to scream and punch my TVs. I got a bunch of them in here. Okay. We have a plethora of TVs that can be ruined. All right. And I want to watch my games outside of network coverage. All right. So more on that, but that's the only thing I'm worried about. And what fans are worried about, because these big monster acquisitions are only good for the companies that are acquiring them. It's not good for the employees or the fans. I don't know how I feel about it, but we'll see. Only time will tell. So here are my picks for the week. We have officially entered into football season, and every Sunday until February, that's where my ass is going to be planted, right here. So I know your wives and, the husbands that don't watch football, they're going to have to find something to do. Some of them are going to have great times, running off with your credit cards. So I love that for them. So ladies, rack up them bills. I love that. Let me know what you buy. You can send me uh, and I love preseason because it means a football on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Love that for us. So here are my picks for the week. We are stacked this week. Thursday, we have the Colts versus the Ravens. Now, we're going to do plus 3.5, under 35.5. Ravens win. Bengals versus Eagles. This is controversial. But because I think that the Eagles were favored, but minus 3.5, over 36.5 points, Bengals win. Raiders versus Seahawks, another unfavorite, but minus 1.5, under 35.5, Raiders win. Lions versus Falcons. I bet on the Lions last week, but I was wrong. I was surprisingly wrong. Word on the street is Jared Goff is starting at least for a few quarters, so I'll fucking take it. Minus 2.5, over 32.5, Lions win. That's an iffy one for me. But Friday we have the Browns versus the Panthers, and I love this. A 2 plus 2.5. under 34.5, Browns win. And I love the Browns charisma, and I'm low key like high key actually. I can't wait to see a Browns season this year. I'm rooting for them. I'm not gonna lie, I am rooting for the Browns. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them go far this year. And I hope they'll do it. I really do. So Commanders versus the Patriots. I'm just a sucker for the underdog. Commanders versus the Patriots, besides the Patriots, because fuck the Patriots. This one is going to be a nail biter. I think Jacoby Brissett and Jaden Daniels are starting according to the reports that I've seen. So again, this is a game for me that I'm going to be watching. For me, it's plus 2.5 over 33.5 Commanders win. Now, Saturday, I have the Giants versus Saturday. We have not. I have like I'm fucking putting it on or something. Giants versus the Bills minus 1.5 under 36.5 Buffalo win. Of course, I know. But come on, they're playing against the fucking Giants. Dream big, Giants. All right, Texans versus the Vikings. And people are yelling at me for betting on preseason. It's like, do you know who I am? I am addicted. I am this is way past like just having fun. This is an addiction for me, okay, guys? Of course I'm betting on fucking preseason. Are you out of your mind? I haven't been able to do it for months now. God. All right. Texans versus Vikings. Reports are saying both starting QBs are starting for this game. So honestly, think the rookie has more to prove here. So I'm going to agree with the favorite and go minus 1.5 over 35.5 Vikings win. Which I'm kind of like annoyed that they got rid of Sam Darnold. Like I didn't think that was necessary. Anyways, moving on. Cowboys versus the Rams. Both teams have a lot going on right now. But having said that, I'm going to go plus 2.5 under 33.5 or 33.5, excuse me, Rams wins. Steelers versus Jaguars. This is going to be another nail biter for me. We have the ayahuasca barefoot jungle hippie on one team now. So obviously the Steelers. But was making me lean towards the Steelers is their defense. I do love Trevor Lawrence and Travis Hunter, but I'm disagreeing with the favorite here, and I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna put my neck on the line. And mind you, you don't have to fucking pick what I pick, all right? This is just my head, my train of thought, okay? And I'm usually right, I have this thing called women's intuition, and it's like I can feel when it's raining, and no, I'm just kidding. I just know, okay? I know. Literally don't listen to me though. Just don't listen to me. This is not gambling advice. This is just what I'm doing. Where was I? All right. Plus 1.5 under 35.5 points. Steelers win. All right, Titans versus the Buccaneers. This is easy. Avi. Plus 1.5 under 34.5 points. Tampa Bay win, which reminds me, all of you that are watching, I'm driving to Tampa. For those that don't know, I live in Boca, so that's like here's Boca, here's Tampa. Up here I have to go and up to Tampa, and I'm driving. I'm going dolo, guys. I'm literally going dolo. I got a hotel because it's a night game, and I'm not driving home. I'm just not doing it. Yeah, so I'm going to be tailgating, and I'm going to set up a little like booth to interview fans and stuff. I'm so excited. We're going to fucking break a table, dude. Like we're going to bring like 3 tables, okay? And we're breaking all of them bitches, all right? And you know what I'm going to do? I may even be, come from like a white trash roots, and you know what? I may go return them bitches back at Walmart. I don't know what happened, but these are defective. Anyways, yeah, so that's next week. And wait till you see my outfit. Okay, Jets versus the Packers. Plus 1.5, under 34.5, Green Bay win. I honestly, I don't fuck with Green Bay. We have beef. Okay, Chiefs versus the Cardinals. This was also painfully hard for me to do, but I'm trying to like actually win here. So minus 1.5, under 35.5, Chiefs win. Broncos versus the 49ers, -2.5, under 34.5. Broncos win. Now, Sunday, we have the Dolphins versus the Bears. The Bears, +1.5, under 34.5 points. Dolphins win. Saints versus the Chargers, +3.5, under 35.5 points. Chargers win. Cowboys versus the Eagles. This is fucking hilarious. -7. -7. Under 46.5. Eagles win. Okay, that's for my picks of the week. And I'm also doing a segment called Small Business Shoutout since I don't have sponsors yet, right? Yet. I'm going to shout out Hamlin Mobile Welding, my brother, Mitch Hamlin. He actually served 5 years in prison and learned how to become a master welder inside. And I'm telling you, he's not just like welding, like fixing things. No, dude, this guy is literally making sculptures and works of art. Check him out. Hamlin Welding on all of his social medias. I will actually tag it in the description of this video, and you really have to check him out. So if you need any tables done, literally anything that you can think of, this guy can make you. He's been making insane like horse sculptures and statues. He just made this beautiful planter wall. I'm just so in awe and so incredibly proud of my brother because he literally took one of the worst situations of his entire life and made something incredibly positive and just literally has changed his family's life and just hit his life. And I'm just so proud of him. He's like one of my biggest fans too. Like he always supports everything that I do, and I love him so much. Brother, if I know you're going to be watching this, and please go support him. Go give him a follow, share his stuff, and if you need anything like that in the future, please consider Hamlin Welding for all your welding and sculptorial needs, if that's even a word. So thank you guys so much for listening to my first episode ever. It's gonna get more spicy throughout, but this is the episodes that's going to be released every Tuesday with my picks of the week. And it might change throughout the season because like I'm like low-key, I was like, but wait a minute, injury reports, that does affect my picks sometimes. So I might have to do like emergency podcast episodes. So I'll have like random episodes that will drop throughout the week. But otherwise, every Tuesday, and we will have like surprise guests on. In the works of literally cold calling and cold DMing players. I'm not kidding. Like I'm going third string players. I'm doing it all, guys. I'm not just like trying to get Jalen Hurts on here. Okay. And I know like I'm a no name podcast, literally episode 1, chill out. I don't know who I think I am, but I'm going to get people interviewed on here. There are so many good people out there that will just take 5-10 minutes out of their day just to hop on a call or hop on like a little video call like this and just shoot the shit. And I'm the type of person that I will literally know everything about you. I will do the most insane research about you just to have points of conversation and just let it flow naturally. And I can't wait to do that. The sky's the limit, guys. If you made it throughout this entire episode, thank you so much. Genuinely, truly, it warms my heart. I'm starting to get emotional because this is so passionate for me and it's something that been wanting to do, and I took the leap of faith and stopped making excuses. Well, I don't have this in line. Who cares? Just fucking start and just do it. And I hope that someone out there, this inspires them to start it, okay? Because one step closer is just, you're there, And if it fails, who fucking cares? Who cares? You try again. You keep doing it. All right, guys, I will see you next Tuesday. And I'm so excited. We got the game coming on the 23rd. It's going to be lit, okay? Like I said, we're going to break some tables. We're going to funnel some beers. We're going to shit talk some Bucks fans. Just kidding. I really do love Bucks fans. But Josh Allen doesn't eat cheesecake. And if you get that reference, you get that you're an OG. Josh Allen doesn't like cheesecake, but Baker Mayfield does. So maybe I'll hold up a sign because I'm like I think I'm by the 30-yard line. And maybe I'll hold up a sign that says Josh Allen doesn't eat cheesecake. I was going to say Josh Allen doesn't eat at Cheesecake Factory, but the NFL wouldn't have shown that because it's like obviously branding or whatever, but who knows? So look for me. If you're not going to the game, look for me. And if you are going to the game, please, please, please DM me and let's meet up. I would love to interview your crew. And yeah, let's have a shot with me or do something crazy. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Yay!